Hello! Today we're going to talk about algebraic equations. We actually use these everywhere, and you might not even realize it. But things like your cell phone bill, your power meter reading for your home, lots of different places. Y equals 0.25x plus 10. How could we possibly use that? What would that represent? What does each part mean? Well, a variable is represented by a letter. It means that things can change depending on the situation. This example is the cost of a taxi ride. We want to know the total cost, which is the y part, and it's based on the number of kilometers that we travel. So y equals 0.25x plus 10. Well, there's also a base charge or a fixed charge, and that's what the plus 10 is for. So let's see how that would all work. If we were going to go for a little jaunt in the neighborhood and we decided to go 50 kilometers, how much is that going to cost? Well, you can calculate it using that figure. A computer program would calculate it for the taxi company. So if we put the 50 kilometers in place of the x, which represents the number of kilometers traveled, we could find out exactly what this trip's going to cost. Y would be our total cost. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's follow our steps. First of all, the first thing is to substitute variables with what we know. And we know that we're going to go 50 kilometers. Well, where do I put it? I put it in place of the x because x is the number of kilometers traveled. So let's do that. Here it is written without the x, with the 50 substituted in its place. We always have to follow order of operations. So our second step is to solve using our math rules that are specified. Order of operations to you might be BEDMAS, brackets, exponents, multiplication and division in order, and adding and subtracting in order last. We have to do it in that order. It's the rules. So let's do it. If I multiplied 0.25 times 50, that would be, our first operation. But you said there's brackets there. It can't be the multiplication that's first. Well, there is a bracket. And in this case, the bracket represents multiplying. We wouldn't want to put an x in there because we might mistake it for our variable. So, is there anything to do inside the brackets? Nope. It's just a 50 there, and we're multiplying the 50 by the 0.25. So, that would be our first step. We're following BEDMAS. And it's $12.50 when you calculate that. 0.25 times 50, $12.50. That 10 plus 10, let's just bring it down. Let's just add it on. And that brings us to the next step in BEDMAS. There were nothing to do in brackets. There were no exponents. We did the division and multiplication. So it's adding and subtracting now. $12.50 plus 10, $22.50. Now we know the cost of our trip. $22.50, and we figured it all using an algebraic equation.